People, a quick vid. I'm only trying to be here for 2 minutes or so, but we're into the Champions League. I really want to be in the Champions League. We're into the Europa League final, people, against Chelsea. It's Cech's former club, and I'm sure all of you lot are having the same debate I'm having in my head. Who starts in goal? I touched on it in one of my vids, but who starts in goal? Leno or Cech? Now, I think Cech's been very good in the Europa League. I think, like someone commented and like I've said in another vid, I think Cech, one thing Cech doesn't get rating for that, I think he's better than Leno. Leno's the better keeper now, but I think he's better at calming people down, at organising things. I think at times Leno gets a bit, what's the word, excited, and he moves a bit weird in that. I feel Cech, when you look at the Napoli game or Valencia, the little game management, time wasting, the little talking, he's got it, man. And when you get to these sort of rounds in the competition, you need man that can do that. There's no way around it. You need Donnies that can do them sort of things. You look at, I'd say, the Napoli game, Koscielny, Cech, and a couple of other old heads really helped us manage the game. At the end of the day, Cech's been good in the Europa League, so he doesn't deserve to be dropped really and truly. But with the context of the game, with the fact that if I'm Unai Emery and you have the chance of keeping your record intact of making Europa League finals, cementing your chance in your first trophy at Arsenal, a European trophy which the previous manager failed to do, just in terms of it being a cup final and playing your best game. And if you put your hand on your heart, if he puts his hand on his heart, Cech is not the better keeper than Leno. Away from sentiment, which is the best keeper? Football's not run on sentiment, or Arsenal would have won the Champions League in 2006. We have to win it. Obviously, if Leno plays and Leno messes up, people say, why did you do that to Cech? If Cech plays and he doesn't, we'll ask questions. I get that it's Cech's last game, people. I do. Cech's been a model professional, both at Chelsea and here. I get that it's his last game. I get that he's been playing well in the Europa League. I get that it's against Chelsea. I get that he's retiring after this. All of that is true, and I sympathise with Cech. And either keeper will get my support in that. But football's not based on sentiment. And as much as one part of me wants Cech to play and believes in Cech, the other hand, if you're picking your best out, if you can find the best lineup possibly out of all them Arsenal players, are you picking Cech? Is Cech your goalie, people? I think people need to be honest with themselves and remove bias, sentiment, and all of them things. Are you picking Cech? Must-win game, life on the line. Are you picking Cech ahead of Leno? And I think many people are going to say no, truthfully. It's a cup final. Again, it would be nice if Cech starts, plays against his old team and wins it. But at the end of the day, football's not run on sentiment. And to a degree, you could even say, if Emery does pick Cech ahead of him, it could arguably be selfish, because that's picking Cech's ambitions and the fact that Cech has, excluding that he's played well, the fact that it's his last game and the context of that versus the majority, the fans, the club, and what it can do with us getting in the Champions League. We won't get in the champs, and all the last 3 years is all washed under the carpet. But what we can do, you've got to play Leno. Cech is my guy, but the reflexes and them things there, Leno is clearly more agile and better than him at these things. So it's a difficult decision to have. Both get my support. On one hand, I want Cech to play, man. I think Cech's done his thing in the Europa League and he's organised well. But on the other hand, if you're sat there and you're picking your best team, people, in a must-win game and things like that, I don't believe Unai Emery is picking Cech. And I believe if he puts his hand on his heart, he knows Cech isn't the better keeper to start the game. It would be nothing more than sentiment and just somewhat a reward for being a good professional. While I understand all of that, football is not based on sentiments, and at the end of the day, we need to win the game. You play your best players. If Aubameyang, we fast forward to the end of Aubameyang's career and Aubameyang's not scoring goals, are we going to start Aubameyang over a young hot striker that we'd have at the time because Aubameyang might be playing against AC Milan in a cup final? It might be his last kick of a football as a professional footballer. I'm not too sure that's the best way to go about things. On that note, I'm going to keep it moving. So, people, Deluded, stay safe and them things. I'm out.